Alright guys, SovereignVA here with, I believe, the first ever update video that's ever been on this channel. And before I even get into the overall outline of what I'm going to address within this video, there is one thing I want to say right at the beginning to sort of just set the tone for the video's entirety. It's a question that I've been getting a lot of times before I uploaded the episode 4 preview. Not so much afterwards, but in case anybody was wondering, School of Smash isn't cancelled. I'm definitely not canceling the series. If it were cancelled, I would tell you guys for sure, just because I believe that, especially at this point, if I were to overall just like fall off the face of the planet with no explanation in regards to where School of Smash would be, I'm sure you would agree. I believe it would be a direct slap in the face to all the people who picked up the series and enjoyed it as much to stick with me for so long. I'm very grateful and I'm very appreciative that I have the resources to make the series, and I'm even more grateful and I'm even more appreciative that you guys are enjoying it like you are. So once again, if I were to cancel the series, I would let you guys know. If you haven't heard anything from me, just assume I'm taking excruciatingly long with the episode. And yeah, School of Smash, I'm still working on it. In regards to episode 4, I'm maybe about 65% done of the first part. So once again, the series is still going. There's still a lot I want to get through before I even contemplate potentially canceling the series. So I just wanted to throw that out there before I get into anything update related. Also, before I get into anything else, Angelic Shineful made this really beastly picture, and as a result I recommend checking out her DeviantArt page, which I will probably link in the description. It's a pretty good DeviantArt page. She makes some really cool stuff, so once again I recommend checking her out. So when it comes to the update video, there are a few things I'm going to cover, and I think I'll definitely start with School of Smash and just the overall status of episode 4 in its entirety, and then I'll kind of segue into the DS, the Digital Shadows, what we've been doing recently, as well as what we plan to upload in the immediate and near future, and then I'll take that opportunity to segue back into the future of this channel and what I plan on doing in the immediate and near future. So we'll start with School of Smash. When it comes to School of Smash, I believe that the stars are finally starting to align when it comes to this episode, in the sense that I got all of my lines relatively recently. I'm out of full-time school, I'm into part-time school, and I'm into part-time work as well, which isn't as time-consuming, as well as being just overall motivated to work on the episode. Because structure-wise, it's a bit different from the other three, in the sense that like the structure of a typical School of Smash episode is like, we'll start off with like a comedic DDD scene, and then I'm very reliant on a class scene, which normally takes up the majority of part 1. And from a writer's perspective, I get a lot out of that scene. Like I get various info dumps that aren't as info dumpy, because it comes off as like Zelda and the more experienced students teaching like Mario, Peach, sometimes Link and Ness, the lesser experienced students, kind of things that are going to be prominent later on, like the history of the school, as well as like how things overall work, like how fighting typically works out. So I get a lot out of that class scene, and then there's one specific subplot that's being kind of built through overall the whole of part 1, and then they spend part 2 dealing with that subplot. So basically, right off the bat, this episode is a bit different in the sense that there is no class scene. Like there's an absence of Zelda, you know, teaching Mario, Peach, Link, Ness, Fox, and DK a lesson for the day. So the benefits that I get writing wise are things that I'm gonna have to get elsewhere, and I'm not necessarily sure if it's a good thing or not. So I'm interested in seeing how this episode turns out. Also, this is the first episode in which Pit and Charizard are prominent, and I really want to see how Pit is received. I want to see if you guys think Pit is justified, or if he's completely irrational, or if you think Charizard's justified, or Charizard's completely irrational. And as a result, this is also the first episode in which Mario gets in on the action a little bit. Like for the first 3 episodes, I've kind of been gimping him. Like he'll jump in, get hit once, and then he'll sort of be out for the rest of the episode. But based on the events that happen within this episode, he's gonna have to fight a lot more than he normally does. So I'm very excited to get this kind of episode out. In terms of an estimate of when it should come out, I would probably say it would come out mid-summer, probably early to mid-July, I think is a fair estimate. I'm about 65% of the first part of the episode, so I think that's a realistic goal. And I definitely want to get it out like way before I transfer into university in September, which is why I think early to mid-July is pretty ideal for me. Once again, I believe it's a possible goal, so I'm gonna be shooting for that. So yeah, ideally you can expect the episode to be out at some point before then. And also when it comes to the I was gonna say something about the opening and endings, but I think it fits more into the final section of the video, so I'm gonna take this opportunity to segue into the DS, the Digital Shadows. The Digital Shadows is a Smash Bros. Machinima group that plans on motivating the people who are making machinimas, as well as inspiring the people who at some point plan on making a machinima. And we plan on doing this by making videos like showcases where we pretty much mention and go over the good things about people who have pretty good series, and we plan on doing like extended tutorials also. When it comes to tutorials, Mega Blue Blaster already has a Smash Bros tutorial, and we recommend watching that one in addition to this one, because his is kind of like general and broad, where it's like we go into detail on like filming, editing, the technical aspects. Flip's already done plot creation and scripting and etc. And our just overall goal is to sort of build a bit more of an active Machinima community, just because as a Machinima fan personally, I like when projects are coming out, just because it's always nice to see the creativity that people can bring to the Machinima community. And hopefully with the addition of Smash 4 coming out relatively recently, as well as a lot of people getting into Smash 4 Machinimas, like a lot of people have made Smash 4 Machinima shorts, and many people are planning on making Smash 4 Machinima series. I think that will assist us when it comes to that. So yeah, basically in short, we're planning on continuing the extended tutorials as well as getting out a few showcases. So if you're interested, that's what you can expect from the Digital Shadows within the near future. If you fit the criteria of a machinimator, of somebody who already has a machinima, or if you are somebody who plans on starting a machinima, I recommend checking the channel out and getting a feel of the overall resources that we're trying to provide to the community's totality. So that's what the Digital Shadows are doing recently, and now I will get into the future of this channel. Alright, so I want to start things off by saying at some point there will be a second machinima on this channel. It's basically going to be a Super Smash Bros. Melee machinima. It's going to be called School of Melee, and basically we're going to go through all the events that happened last year with it, School of Smash. But in reality, it's actually going to be a Smash 4 machinima. That was a joke, by the way. And it has absolutely no connection to School of Smash. In fact, the themes and the aspects that you can find within this series are a lot deeper and fundamental of a level than the themes and aspects that you can find in School of Smash. In terms of project size, it's probably equivalent to School of Smash. In fact, I'd say that it's a bit longer, like plot-wise, than School of Smash was. And I can't wait to work on the series. I can't give away the name, unfortunately, because if you know how like School of Smash, where if you're aware that School of Smash is a Brawl Machinima, then you'll probably get like 60% of the concept by its name. It's the same thing for this series. Like as soon as I say its name, it'll be like, oh, that's where he's going with this. So for that reason, I'm not going to give away the name, just because I don't believe I've seen this done in Machinima before. I can't say that it for sure hasn't been done in Super Smash Bros. Machinima, but I haven't seen it done before, and if that's the case, you know, I want to be the first to do it. So I'm not going to give away the name, and when we get closer to actually getting it out, then I'll probably start revealing more and more things about it. But at the moment, I just need to finish like the plot outline. Like once again, it's a very, very, very long series. Like I have an overall plot summary. It's like 44 pages on Microsoft Word, and I'm not even at the halfway point. So I think when I'm finished, it'll probably be around 100 pages. And then once I do that, I can start scripting. I can start acquiring the voices and filming, editing, you know, the technical aspects, the themes that you can find in the Digital Shadows story. You should check it out. And once that happens, then I'll probably start revealing a little bit more and more about it closer to getting it out. And so yeah, when it comes to a second machinima, it's going to be a Smash 4 machinima. It's going to be just as big of a project as School of Smash on this channel, and I can't wait to start on it. Also, if you've seen the preview, you may or may not have noticed that I actually did get a new capture card. It's an HD PVR Gaming Edition number 2, and this basically means goodbye to the 360p days. Those days were rough. and I appreciate you sticking with me through those days. But geez Louise, like my laptop was old, my TV, I don't know, man. When I got the Dazzle and I initially got the splitters, like they didn't fit into any TV in the house. So the reason why I'm using the TV I'm using is because it's the only TV with like 2 sets of RCA cables, which means I can hook up my Dazzle without the use of splitters. The only problem is the saturation and a lot of the colors were off. Like anything that was close to the color red looked odd, like Mario and specifically Peach's dress is one thing that really bugged me. But now that I have the HD PVR, I can film in the living room and things look a lot better. So once again, we can finally say goodbye to the 360p days. It's been real, but we have to move on, and we'll see you later, 360p. As a result of getting a new capture card, like I was thinking of making an HD equivalent to the opening and endings, but I was planning on changing the opening and endings by episode 6. And I know I'm definitely not going to be able to make the HD equivalent for this episode, which means I would literally use them for one episode only. So as a result, after this episode, I pretty much come up with the conclusion that I might just honestly make a new opening and ending altogether after this episode. And I've already found like this really good song for it. Like I really like the song, so it literally depends on if YouTube is very friendly with the song. If I upload it and it gets taken down because YouTube isn't friendly with the song, then I'll literally just keep the standard quality until episode 6 or episode 7 when I plan on changing it. And that's probably what we'll be doing. So basically the reason why I'm saying this is because after episode 4 part 1 and 2, the next videos that you should probably expect are the newer versions of the opening and endings for School of Smash. And that's basically the lineup of videos that you can expect on this channel in the immediate and near future. Like ideally I can get these videos up relatively soon, so that's basically the gist of this update video. And I just want to thank you guys for your dedication and loyalty. Like I'm not the easiest person to remain subscribed to, in the sense that like I don't upload all that often, but you guys wait very patiently, and you guys give me encouragement and motivation when I actually do upload the episodes to continue. So I'm just very appreciative that you guys were able to stick with me all this time. Like I started Machinima in 2012 and it's 2015 and you guys are like still here with me. So I'm very appreciative that you guys are doing that for me, and hopefully with episode 4, I know it won't make it up completely, but hopefully you guys enjoyed enough to where, you know, it makes things a little bit better. So that's basically the gist of the update video. Thank you guys. Once again, I'm SovereignVA, and I am out of here.